Hello listeners and welcome to Team 1's recording of this week's West Lothian Boomerang, your talking newspaper. Our engineer tonight is Paul and the readers are myself, Wendy.
Myself, Linda.
Andre.
And George.
The news this week is taken with permission from the West Lothian Courier dated the 9th of January. And the lead story is Coach Sandra sports a royal honour, MBE for Livingston Athletics Club stalwart. And the article is by Michael Pringle. A West Lothian woman who has dedicated her life to sport was among those recognised in the King's New Year Honours list. Sandra Hardacre, a coach at Livingston Athletics Club, has been awarded an MBE for her services to athletics. The 63-year-old Gran from Mid-Calder has dedicated her life to athletics, first getting involved when she was 10 years old. She started coaching voluntarily at grassroots level when she was a teenager and has guided a number of young Scots athletes to success over the years. Sandra, a mum of one, still takes coaching sessions 4 days a week, as well as organising and working at events on weekends. The former pharmaceutical company employee, who was head of customer services before opting for early retirement, admits that she doesn't know what she would do without athletics in her life. Sandra lends her experience as a technical official at around 60 events each year and is secretary of the East District Cross Country and Road Race Commission and a team manager of Scotland and East District's team at endurance events. She officiated at both the European Cross Country Championships in 2003 and the World Cross Country Championships in 2008. She said, "I've been involved in athletics since I was 10 and been officiating since the 1980s. I've been coaching since I was about 18 years old and was previously at Petrevie, but when I got married I moved over to West Lothian. I'm a Level 4 endurance official and Level 4 track and field official and East District Cross Country Secretary and Scottish Road Running and Cross Country Secretary as well now. I found out about the MBE at the very end of November. I got a letter through and it was a total surprise and totally unexpected. I was shocked, but I feel really privileged that people feel I've done enough to be awarded an MBE. I'm coaching 4 days a week and officiating at weekends normally. I don't know what I'd do without athletics. My life has just always been this. It's great seeing young people come through. Among those Sandra has helped guide along the way was Sarah Calvert, who made it to a European Under-20 final and is now current Scottish 3,000 metre champion. It's amazing for Sandra to be receiving the MBE for services to her sport. She deserves it so much, Sarah told Scottish Athletics website. I remember going along to Livingston AC when I was about 9 years of age, and Sandra was my first coach. Sandra still cheers me on at races. Usually she is officiating, and I love seeing you hear about the scene in Scotland. I know that every other athlete who has ever been coached by Sandra will feel the same way and only have nice things to say about her. She is amazing and always working to keep people in the sport. Sandra also instilled a love of athletics in her son, who was a runner for a time until he went to university. She also has a 2-year-old grandson, so athletics may well continue in the family for another generation. I didn't ever want to force my son to do it, but he chose to do so, Sandra continued. I know he's very proud of me. I don't know yet, but when I will receive the MBE, I'm still waiting to hear, but hopefully I can get it in Edinburgh. I still have time to spend with my little grandson, but I don't know what else I would do. It's just always been in my life.
I'm just praying for a New Year miracle. This is an article by Hannah Roger. A distraught Livingston dad has revealed that his 2-year-old daughter could die because Scotland has none of the specialist heart support machines she desperately needs. Tiny Fatima De Sula has been in a medically induced coma for almost 2 months after her heart stopped suddenly in October. But the treatment she needs to keep her alive is unavailable in Scotland, with only 2 centres in England offering the support, and none of them have beds available. Fatima needs a ventricular assistive device, VAD, which helps to pump blood around the body until she can receive a heart transplant. but only Great Ormond Street Hospital in London and Freeman Hospital in Newcastle can provide the surgery to keep Fatima alive. She is one of 47 children in the UK currently waiting for a heart transplant, with a third of them typically needing a mechanical device fitted first to help them live until a donor is found. Joe is desperate for his daughter to get help and has backed calls for the Scottish Government to provide the life-saving treatment for children in Scotland, rather than force families to wait for one of just 12 spaces to become available in either Newcastle or London. He is joined by Scottish Labour Deputy Jackie Baillie and the Liberal Democrat leader Alex Cole-Hamilton in calling for better provision in Scotland for children with heart failure. The IT consultant from Livingston said, "I'm praying for a New Year miracle. Right now they're just telling us that they're aware of her case, they know how serious it is, but at the moment they don't have any beds available. I'm terrified for my daughter and I'm not holding my breath that she will get a place as there are only a handful of beds. Frankly, I think it's a disgrace there are so few of these spaces available and there is absolutely nothing in Scotland." Fatima has spent the last 8 weeks in Glasgow's Queen Elizabeth Hospital in the paediatric intensive care unit after she collapsed at home and her family discovered she had a problem with the left valve in her heart. Joe said she was completely fine, a normal child until that point. The 2-year-old, who lives in Morocco with her mum, wasn't able to get the care she needed abroad, and her Scottish dad frantically arranged for her to be transferred to the UK as she has dual citizenship. After being told she would have to be taken to Newcastle for the VAD surgery last month, the family received another blow when the place reserved for Fatima was taken by another patient in need of urgent care. Joe said, "About 4 weeks ago we were told to get ourselves together. We're going to be moving to the Freeman Hospital to get on VAD. It's all going to be okay." I had a sigh of relief because I thought my daughter's going to get supported now and she can stay on the VAD for up to 2 years. The next thing we were told, it had been taken and we just had to wait again. A fortnight ago, Joe said he was told his daughter was going to die and medics were going to take her off a life support machine called ECMO, which acts like the heart and lungs for very sick patients. He said, "We were told she's not going to get better and that she's going to die. They took ECMO off the table. They said that there were no beds. She's got nowhere to go. I've had to campaign, speak to doctors, plead with them. Now we have ECMO, but Fatima is just in a coma. She has had to be sedated and I am continuing to fight on. I continue to campaign because the situation is desperate." Even if Fatima manages to secure a space in one of the English hospitals, the cost of moving for her family will be significant. Joe has launched an online fundraiser in preparation for the move, but said it would be better for Scottish families if they could be treated at home. He said, "They've only got 5 beds with VAD in Great Ormond Street and they've got 7 in Newcastle. So for 60 million people in the UK, we have 12 paediatric VAD beds, which is absolutely disgusting from my point of view. Speaking to doctors here, they tell me they're sending people down all the time to the 2 hospitals in England. There is definitely a need in Scotland. Currently, there are no specialist paediatric surgeons who perform heart transplants in Scotland with the same specialists required to install VADs. Labour's Jackie Baillie said, "This is a heartbreaking story and my best wishes are with Fatima and her parents." NHS England have a long history of providing specialist services for patients in Scotland, which is welcome, and we should seek more opportunities to work together in the interests of patients. Given the demand for the specialist service, NHS Scotland should review whether we should have the capability to deliver VAD treatments here, adding to the capacity across the UK to treat children needing life-saving transplants. Lib Dem leader Cole-Hamilton said, "At this time of year, Fatima and her family should not be left in limbo over treatment whilst going through something so upsetting for all of them. My thoughts are with them and other families who may be going through something similar." A Scottish Government spokeswoman said, "We are keen to ensure that all people requiring treatment and urgent procedures receive high-quality care in a safe, effective manner. Where it is not possible to provide this in a healthcare setting in Scotland, NHS National Services Scotland will work with NHS England and other devolved health boards to ensure the patient receives treatment in an appropriate setting.
MSP raises concerns over Islamophobia. Lothian Region MSP Faisal Chowdhury recently gave his support to Islamophobia Awareness Month, IAM. It aims to raise awareness about Islamophobia, fear, prejudice and discrimination against Muslims and promote understanding, tolerance and respect for Muslim communities. The annual event challenges prejudice, fosters social cohesion and helps ensure Muslims can live free from fear and fully participate in society. Scottish Labour MSP Mr Chowdhury met with the Muslim Council of Scotland and hosted a round table at the Scottish Parliament. This event reflected IAM's theme of Seeds of Change, emphasising how small actions can contribute to larger changes and celebrating the positive contribution of Muslims across the UK. And the round table aimed to raise awareness of Islamophobia and promote understanding and respect across diverse communities. It comprised keynote speakers, including leader of the Scottish Labour Party, Anas Sarwar. During the round table, Mr Chowdhury recognised the significant role Scottish Muslims have played in shaping our society, making contributions to education, healthcare, business, the arts and more. He highlighted the need to involve other Muslim communities in the discussion, like Middle Eastern communities, and to engage with these communities to work towards tackling root causes of prejudice. Mr Chowdhury emphasised how current world conflicts are impacting both on Muslim and Jewish communities in Scotland and the UK. The round table celebrated community support by awarding a Shield of Appreciation to Assistant Chief Constable Shaheen Barber for his work with Police Scotland. Lindsay Taylor was also awarded a Shield Appreciation recognising work with the Muslim Engagement and Development, MEND, and Interfaith. Ms Taylor's work was hugely impactful to Mr Chowdhury and his work in tackling Islamophobia, as she spoke on the experience of Muslim women and her experience living in Scotland while wearing a hijab. The event also has representatives from Police Scotland who spoke to their anti-racism training work, and also present were MSPs Monica Lennon and Mercedes Villaba. During the round table, Mr Chowdhury emphasised, "One priority I want to highlight this evening is the increasing need to educate against Islamophobia." The impact of Islamophobia against Scottish Muslims and racial prejudice were echoed by Mr Sarwar, who said, "The way you confront it is through your education system." Following the round table, Mr Chowdhury said, "A lot of people expressed deep concern at the round table. Racism and religious prejudice are hugely problematic and impact many communities, not just the Muslim community. We must continue to dismantle this prejudice." Meanwhile, Mr Chowdhury also gave his support to a joint campaign by the Scottish Retail Consortium and USDAW, urging Scots to be kind, considerate and respectful to retail workers and customers when shopping during the Christmas period and beyond. USDAW protects about 360,000 members, including workers in retail, transport, food manufacturing and distribution, all of whom are essential to ensuring the holiday season runs smoothly and to meet Scots' festive season demands. Mr Chowdhury met with the Scottish Grocers Federation, SGF, in November, where he heard firsthand about the impact of antisocial behaviour. This was also reflected in the violence against retail workers, with more than 9 out of every 10 stores reporting violence against staff occurring at least once a week. Organisations like SGF are calling for emergency resources for Police Scotland following statistics released by the Scottish Government highlighting a 70% increase in shoplifting from September 2020. Mr Chowdhury said, "Shoplifting, assault and abuse of shop workers is never acceptable, and we hear from shop workers that those unfortunately increased during the festive period. We must be kind to workers this festive season. They are providing essential services and oftentimes away from their loved ones. This behaviour is unacceptable. There must be adequate resources for local authorities to respond to harassment and violence experienced by residents. We should instead support our community and those working in local shops this festive season." There's a series of pictures showing the round table and the 2 appreciation shields given to the Assistant Chief Constable and Lindsay Taylor.
The next article is attributed to Cara Blackhall. The major title is Lovely Tribute, Keeping Toddler's Memory Alive, with a subtitle, Heartbroken Parents Open Up a Year After Their Beautiful Little Caris Passed Away in Her Sleep. A heartbroken family have paid tribute to their baby daughter 1 year on after she tragically passed away in her sleep. Caris Mitchell from Bathgate died in her bed following what her parents described as a completely normal night. Mum Steph and Dad Donnie decided to check in on their 2-year-old daughter shortly after midnight, but their world fell apart when they realised she was no longer breathing. Pathologists believe Caris died from a sudden unexplained death in childhood following an inconclusive post-mortem. The youngster died on the morning of January the 4th last year, and 1 year on the couple have opened up on the event that they have organised in her memory to help them get through the festive period without their daughter. As reported by Edinburgh Live, they are determined to make sure her memory lives on and have started doing Santa visits in Wester Inch and local cemeteries. Steph said, "We had Caris in 2021 and she was born with additional needs. She hated visiting Santa grottos and things like that, so my husband eventually invested in a Santa suit so he could do his own grotto for her at home. This then led to a different decision, and in 2022 they decided we would do a Santa event in Wester Inch. We would buy sweets and go round the street with Christmas music and things. But when Caris passed away at the start of the year, we decided we weren't going to do Santa. It was a thing of the past. We just didn't think we could have the strength to do it without her. As the year went on, we decided our minds needed something to focus on, so we decided to bring it back this year, and in the future we are going to continue to do it in Caris's name and raise funds for different charities." Steph and Donnie soon realised they didn't want any child to miss out once they brought their Santa visit to Caris's cemetery. Steph added, "I didn't want Caris missing out on anything, so we would bring the Santa suit to her cemetery. When we were down there, we realised there were lots of kids where Caris is, and it isn't fair for any kid to miss out on Santa. So we bulk bought candy canes and decided each child under 16 at the cemeteries would get a visit from Santa this year. The response we got was overwhelming because the only reason we did this was because we didn't want our daughter's memory to die off. We want to keep her memory alive for as long as we live. We don't want it to fade like she never even existed. The couple are hoping to carry on Santa events in the future to raise money for charities including Ronald McDonald House and the Edinburgh Children's Hospital charity. As it's the family's first Christmas without Caris, Steph said it was a struggle for them and they weren't sure that they would manage the event. She added, having our first festive period without Caris was really hard. It has been difficult, and when it came to December, we had so many moments when we wanted to cancel it and it felt like we couldn't do it. We had tears every time we did it because the generosity we got and doing all of this without her has been very challenging. We knew it would be hard and it was very emotional for us at that time, including her siblings. We have managed to bring comfort to other families at this Christmas time, and that's an amazing thing.
5 schoolboys are charged. 5 schoolboys have been charged following a disturbance at Livingston Shopping Centre earlier this month, where a security guard was rushed to hospital after allegedly being attacked. Emergency services scrambled to the scene in West Lothian in response to the incident on Tuesday, December the 17th at around 5:20pm, where a 58-year-old male was found injured. He was taken to hospital for treatment. Police now later confirmed that 5 15-year-old males have now been charged in connection. Images from the centre on the night of the incident showed a huge police presence there. A Police Scotland spokesperson said 5 male youths aged 15 have been charged following a disturbance at a shopping centre in Livingston on Tuesday the 17th of December 2024. Around 5:20pm, we received a report of a disturbance. A 58-year-old man was taken to hospital for treatment. A report will be sent to the relevant authority. Officers would like to thank the community for supporting centre staff and assisting with the inquiry.
RAC campaign chief insists a fight continues. This is an unattributed article. The leader of the UK RAC, Reinforced Autoclaved Aerated Concrete campaign, has claimed that homeowners are being kept in the dark over plans for their future. Wilson Chowdhury says his request to join a meeting between West Lothian Council and the Scottish Housing Minister was turned down. Campaigners from across Scotland, including Livingston's Ghost Estate campaigner Kerry McIntosh, have raised a petition for their case to be heard by the Scottish Parliament. Writing in his blog, Mr Chowdhury said, local councils and government bodies have acknowledged the issue, but there remain critical gaps in transparency and inclusivity in addressing these concerns. He said that he'd been told by the council that the meeting with Housing Minister Paul McLennan was a political one between the council and the Scottish Government, which precludes the involvement of third parties. He said that the decision was puzzling, and a report on the blog added, his involvement would seem both relevant and beneficial, ensuring the concerns of those most impacted are effectively communicated and addressed. Mr Chowdhury said, excluding representatives of affected groups from such critical discussions undermines the principle of collaborative problem solving and risks leaving key questions unanswered. Mr Chowdhury said that it had been suggested he request a meeting with the Minister himself, something which has been refused at Holyrood. A spokesperson for West Lothian Council said, we have facilitated meetings with West Lothian homeowners who may be affected by RAC, collated the feedback from homeowners and have ensured that the issues and concerns raised by homeowners have been shared with the Housing Minister at previous meetings, and this will continue. The purpose of our meeting with the Government is to put forward the feedback of West Lothian homeowners. It would not be appropriate for a UK-wide campaign group to attend a meeting between the Scottish Government and West Lothian Council.
Confidence Growing for Slimming Pals by Ross Thompson. 2 Livingston slimmers have taken control of their health after being unhappy with their photos on their wedding day. Prior to joining their Slimming World group, Shannon and Robin Owens said they felt sluggish and dissatisfied with how they looked. This sparked their decision to make a change. After just 2 weeks at the Slimming World group, Shannon and Robin were amazed at how easy the transition had been. They found themselves enjoying the food, discovering new recipes, and looking forward to the weekly group sessions. Shannon said, "In the past I was sceptical of any diet working, but having seen the results, I now believe that with Slimming World's generous food optimizing plan, you can change your whole lifestyle and never go hungry." Robin added, "We are very proud of our weight loss of 1 stone 8 pounds and 2 stone and half a pound since we joined in August 2024, and the fact that we have both gained our Club 10 award and known the health benefits of this achievement encourages us. Family and friends are starting to notice, which fills us with confidence that we are doing well and motivates us to continue to push forward to get to our target." While their journey wasn't without its challenges, Shannon and Robin's commitment to their goals along with the support they received from the group helped get them on track. Socialising and eating out is a big part of their lives, and they had learned how easy it was to do so whilst losing weight. In recognition of their dedication and positive contributions, the duo were recently voted Slimming World Icons 2024 by their group. Slimming World consultant Gay Malcolm said, "Since the day they joined, Shannon and Robin have been a positive influence in the group, fully embracing food optimizing and becoming a joy to have as members. Their commitment, honesty and positive contributions were recognised when they were voted Slimming World Icons 2024 by their peers. Even when they can't attend their regular session, they remain committed to staying on track and couldn't be prouder of their progress. I look forward to celebrating them achieving their target weights." Gay's group runs every week in Geddes House, Kirkton Road North, Livingston, on Thursdays at 5:30 and 7 p.m, and Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. And there's 2 lovely pictures of the couple before they joined Slimming World and currently showing their new figures.
MP Poynton in visit to Livy Specs store. Livingston MP Gregor Poynton visited the town Specsavers to hear how local experts are delivering neighbourhood eye health care. Store partners Lisa Brockett and Sunit Singh gave the Labour politician a tour of the facilities, which have recently undergone a refit of a £60,000 improvement. The facelift has given a fresh new look to the premises, ensuring the high street retailer is offering the best in-store customer experience. Mr. Poynton chatted to the team about how it brings services closer to the community, supporting the wider health service, and how Specsavers is ready to do more, even more to support the NHS. He said, "Seeing and hearing firsthand how Specsavers Livingston is looking after the health of our community was very insightful. We also talked about how Specsavers has an important role on the high street, providing valuable jobs and careers." Lisa Brockett, store director at Specsavers Livingston, added, "It was a pleasure to welcome Mr. Poynton to Specsavers, especially at such an exciting time where the store has just seen an impressive upgrade. We were able to discuss how we provide access to a range of eye and hearing health services to the community in Livingston."
Health Board's robust plans for winter surges, an article by a staff reporter. NHS Lothian says that robust plans are in place across the region this winter to help patients receive the right healthcare in the right place. The Health Board, which is already experiencing significant pressures, has geared up for the busiest time of the year. And the numbers of people who need healthcare surges every winter for a variety of illnesses and conditions, including winter bugs such as flu, COVID, other respiratory illnesses and norovirus. NHS Lothian is working closely with the 4 health and social care partnership in the region, East Lothian, Mid Lothian, Edinburgh and West Lothian, to focus in on more community-based initiatives to reduce the need for hospital attendance and admission in the first place. The move also means that more patients will be able to receive the care they need closer to home, and if they do have to be admitted to an acute hospital, the length of their stay in hospital should be shorter. In turn, the renewed focus on community programmes will help free up more hospital beds for patients who are acutely unwell. Dr Tracy Gillis, Medical Director, NHS Lothian, said, "The pressures facing hospital and community teams, GPs and pharmacies regularly surge beyond levels of activity that some years ago would normally have been associated with winter. That level of demand will only increase as winter progresses, so we have worked with partnerships to bolster their capacity in the community to ensure that more hospital beds are available for those that need them most. Healthcare is there for everyone who needs it this winter, and what we want to make sure patients can receive their advice, care or treatment in the right place at the right time. Health and Social Care Partnerships, HSCPS, across Lothian are enhancing their discharge to assess programmes, which help support people to leave hospital as soon as it is safe and appropriate. Single points of contact, SPOC, services are also being boosted. These systems are aimed at people who are at imminent risk of hospital care but can be safely managed in the community. They support GPs and other professionals to rapidly coordinate services. Other streamlined assessment processes have also been put in place to expedite hospital discharges and help community teams to proactively identify people ready for discharge with their support.
Bloomin' Marvellous Group Work, an article by Stuart Somerville. A project set up to encourage a grassroots approach to tackle climate change has seen results bloom in its first year. More than 70 community groups have joined the West Lothian Climate Action Network as it works on small-scale environmental improvement, as well this winter offering practical advice on saving on heating bills. And in the new year, the network wants to hear from communities about one of the biggest issues they face, transport. All of their projects breathe life into the phrase, think global, act local. The network has cultivated schemes across the county with seed corn funding from the Scottish Government of £50,000. Initial funding was in place by December 2023 and 3 staff had been recruited by January, ahead of a launch event at the Howden Park Centre. The range of member groups is wide: charities, social enterprises, community hubs, businesses, education sector, nature groups, mental and physical well-being, development trusts, community councils, anti-poverty workers, diversity inclusion groups, and support organisations such as the Voluntary Sector Gateway. In the first few months, almost £50,000 was distributed to West Lothian Climate Action Network's grassroots groups. This includes work on community gardens, development trusts, woodlands, water quality, clothing and tool reuse. The initial 27 applications for funding a year ago totalled £100,000, showing the extent of interest in funding eco-projects. The money was distributed as West Lothian Climate Action Network's first eco-development fund, and later in the year a second round of government funding distributed a further £10,000. Over the year, 23 community organisations have received funding for climate-related projects. Ruth Plevin, the chairperson of the network, said, West Lothian Climate Action Network evolved, taking the elements of earth, fire, water and air as its themes to make sense of the climate catastrophe. Channeling our efforts into specific areas allows us to make maximum impact with our limited resources. We are small, but our growing membership gives us a big voice. The founding directors of West Lothian Climate Action Network took on the company office bearer roles, and further directors were brought on board with the total now at 7. Together they have worked with the staff to establish West Lothian Climate Action Network over the year, running it as a hub. The hub isn't a physical space. Staff and directors decided it was better to get out there and meet groups to deliver support and events. West Lothian Climate Action Network has also developed a climate education programme, including workshops, and they can be tailored for children, young people or adult groups, and the aim of all training is to empower people to do things that reduce their carbon footprint and help the environment. The Hub is establishing a youth arm, engaging young people on the topic through climate cafes and inviting them to become involved in the Hub organisation. Visits to numerous schools in the region, including Cedar Bank, are building partnerships to help establish food composting schemes and school gardens. Partnerships are also being forged with the business community, with the West Lothian Chamber of Commerce among professional groups to have joined. Companies involved in innovation, such as Silvio Bio, which makes peat-free compost, are also members. West Lothian Climate Action Network also works with West Lothian Council's Carbon Reduction and Regeneration Officers, and 2 West Lothian Council councillors are on the board. Relationships with service providers in the local authority and third sector are key to reaching people who are more vulnerable to climate injustice, food and fuel poverty. Any individual or group can be a member of West Lothian Climate Action Network, which is free and enables people to connect with projects, organisations and resources. Members' meetings take place online or in person regularly, with the Hub team outlining upcoming events and projects.
New homes breathe life into former ghost town. A previous ghost town in West Lothian is coming back to life as more tenants move into affordable homes. The £11.1 million development at Dean South in Livingston saw a total of 52 newly constructed social housing properties being occupied in time for Christmas. The development being built for Wheatley Homes East, part of Wheatley Group by Springfield Partnerships, includes a mix of 1, 2 and 3 bedroom properties comprising bungalows, cottage flats and terraced houses. Each of the homes uses innovative heating systems in the form of air source heat pumps, which reduce the emissions of the home so they are less impactful on the environment while keeping the running costs low for the residents. Megan Patterson is a 24-year-old nursery practitioner who recently moved into the development. She said, "I'm really enjoying living in my new home. I'm delighted with it. It's in a quiet area and my neighbours are lovely. Before I moved in, I was living between my mum's home, my partner's and sometimes friends, so it's great having my own space. It's part of a wider regeneration of the area, which see a community of 127 new homes delivered, transforming the once abandoned estate. The project is being funded by a £6.8 million grant funding from the Scottish Government and charitable bonds, and supported with £4.3 million from Wheatley Group. Laura Henderson, Managing Director of Wheatley Homes East, said, "It's great to see the regeneration of Dean South and more affordable homes being built in the area. This has been a complex project and we thank Springfield and West Lothian Council for their crucial ongoing support in bringing these much-needed homes to life." Springfield Partnerships Managing Director Tom Leggett said, We firmly believe that everyone deserves a good home to live in, and we are delighted to have played such a significant role in the transformation of a neglected part of the Dean's area and create new homes people are proud to call home. We have a fantastic relationship with Wheatley Group and together have delivered hundreds of new high-quality and energy-efficient homes for people that have a need for them, including those at Dean's. We are excited to welcome the new residents to their new homes in time for the festive period.
New homes on ex-hospital site. Barratt Homes, East Scotland, will soon be welcoming prospective buyers to visit one of the UK's most iconic redevelopment projects as homes at Bangor Village Hospital, West Lothian, launch next month. Built on the grounds of former Bangor Hospital outside Livingston, the regeneration of the site is being carried out by a variety of house builders, including Barratt Homes and David Wilson Homes, which will join in May. Earlier this year, Ambassador Group finalised the sale of 14.55 acres of land to Barratt Homes for the development of 179 private residences. The first phase of properties will be available to reserve from February 2025 and include 3 and 4 bedroom homes. These new homes will become part of the larger Bangor Village estate, an ambitious redevelopment nestled in 215 acres of woodland. In total, the project aims to introduce up to 998 energy-efficient homes that will benefit from excellent transport links to Edinburgh and Glasgow. Once completed, the brand new community will have a range of amenities, including a primary school, nursery and playing fields. There will also be a commercial hub comprising of a supermarket, cafe, restaurant and expansive woodland that has been preserved. Lorraine Patterson, Sales Director at Barratt Homes and David Wilson Homes, East Scotland, said, "As locals will know, the Bangor site is cherished within the community for its scenic beauty and rich heritage. We've taken care at every opportunity when designing and planning quality homes on the grounds, making sure properties reflect the needs of families, couples and individuals while being inspired by the spacious tranquility of Bangor. By working with Ambassador Group and other house builders, we hope to see the site reborn as a place to live and thrive."
And now we have the intimations, which this week are all deaths. Jean Easton, Bathgate, peacefully at Livingston Care Home on Thursday the 26th of December 2024. Jean, aged 100 years, beloved wife of the late David, a much-loved mum, mum-in-law, gran and great-granny, at home with the Lord. Funeral service to be held on Monday the 13th of January 2025 in Brodie's Funeral Parlour, Bathgate at 11:45 a.m. Interment thereafter at Bathgate, Glasgow Road Cemetery for 12:30 p.m. Thomas Tom Ansel Patton, 6th of April 1947 to 19th of December 2024. Peacefully at home, surrounded by his loving family, on Thursday the 19th of December 2024, Tom, aged 77 years, beloved husband to Margot, loving dad to Ivory and Neil, treasured grandad to Levi, Christiane, Sasha, Lila, Mariella and Domino, Brooke and Alfie, and a dear father-in-law and brother, will be deeply missed by all who knew him. Funeral service will be held at West Lothian Crematorium on Monday the 13th of January 2025 at 12 p.m, to which all family and friends are respectfully invited. Donations towards Bowel Cancer UK in lieu of flowers. Alice Preston Young, nee Swan, Linlithgow. Peacefully at home on Wednesday, December the 25th, 2024, Alice, devoted wife of Andrew Marshall, mother of Craig, mother-in-law of Anne, and gran of Stuart and Lisa. You're invited to join us to celebrate the life of Alice at Falkirk Crematorium on Monday, January 13th, 2025 at 1:45 p.m. No flowers, please, but a retiral collection will be held for Crossroads Care Scotland and the lifeboat service. Afterwards, everyone is welcome at Linlithgow Rugby Club to meet with the family. And now we'll carry on with the local news. Historic Bibles on display in Bathgate, an article by Robert Mitchell. 2 historic Bibles have been put on display in a showcase in Bathgate Partnership Centre. They were discovered in the Vestry Library of St John's Church, Bathgate, when it closed in April 2024. And due to their historical significance, they are now on display for all to see. One is a special rarity, a Latin Bible published in 1624. It contains a translation of the Old Testament from the original Hebrew and 2 translations of the New Testament printed in parallel columns, one from the original Greek text and the other from an early version in Syriac. The translations were made by Protestant scholars who used Latin, the international language of scholarship at the time. It was intended to challenge the accuracy of the Latin translation of the Bible, known as the Vulgate, made by St Jerome in the late 4th century AD, which was in use in the Roman Catholic Church. The other is a republication in 1668 of the famous translation of the Bible into English authorised by King James VI of Scotland, James I of England, in 1611 for use in all churches in the United Kingdom. It has a splendid frontispiece which indicates that it was printed in Cambridge by John Field, printer to the university. The Bible has been bound together with a book of metrical psalms authorised for use by the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland, printed in Edinburgh in 1696. The printer was a woman, Agnes Anderson, née Campbell, although this is disguised by the statement that the book was printed by the heirs and assigns of Andrew Anderson. He had been the King's printer in Scotland, and she, as his widow, took over the office, continuing to own and manage the printing press for many years after his death. Some of the pages in both parts of the volume were damaged, including the title page of 1686, but they have been beautifully restored by RDW Book and Paper Conservation Limited of Falkirk. A 3rd volume, a Grand Victorian Illustrated Bible, will be exchanged in the display with the 2 other Bibles from time to time. Alistair Small, Secretary of Bathgate Churches Together, said, "All 3 Bibles were discovered in the Vestry Library in St John's Church, Mid Street, Bathgate, when it closed in April 2024 in a union with Bathgate High Church. The chairman of the repurposing committee recognised the importance of the Bibles, and with that committee's agreement, the session of the newly formed Bathgate Parish Church was asked for its permission to allow the Bibles to stay in Bathgate. This was agreed, and they were transferred on long-term renewable loan to West Lothian Museums and Archives. The installation and display were made possible by Emma Peaty, Heritage Manager of the Museums and Archives Service of West Lothian Council, who provided the showcase and set up the display, and Billy Weir, Chair of the Bathgate Community Centre Management Association, which paid for the restoration of the 1668 Bible and provided the space for the showcase in the foyer of the Partnership Centre. A display board explaining the significance of the Bibles will be provided by Bathgate Churches Together. And there's a lovely photograph in the Partnership Centre of visitors who have come to see the historic Bibles up close in Bathgate.
MBE for NHS worker who helped establish vaccination programme in COVID-19 crisis. And it's an article by Ross Thompson. An NHS stalwart from Linlithgow has picked up an MBE in the New Year Honours List. Ruth Robinson received the gong as part of her role as the head of programme for the NHS Education for Scotland. She was awarded the prestigious honour for services to public health and health protection in Scotland. An NHS Education for Scotland spokesperson said, Ruth has worked in health protection for over 30 years and has had a significant influence in education and workforce development in NHS Scotland and beyond. She was instrumental in establishing the COVID-19 vaccination programme, providing the resources to skill up hundreds of staff and volunteers at pace. This and other work Ruth led have created a strong legacy that has been recognised for significantly contributing to the improvement and protection of health and well-being for individuals, sharing best practice, benefiting the population of Scotland, the UK and internationally. Elsewhere, Christine McGuinness from Linlithgow was awarded a CBE for services to public health in Scotland. Christine is a co-director at the Population Health Directorate, Scottish Government. There were also awards for Sandra Hardacre for voluntary service to athletics in Scotland and Paralympics hero Nathan McQueen for services to archery. West Lothian Provost Cathy Muldoon said, "On behalf of everyone in West Lothian, I would like to pass on our warm congratulations to all those who have been recognised. They have clearly demonstrated great service within their respective areas, and it is a wonderful accolade for West Lothian when local people are recognised in this way. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all of the unsung heroes who work tirelessly for our communities throughout the year, and wish everyone in West Lothian a very happy and peaceful new year." West Lothian's Lord Lieutenant Moira Niven added, "Congratulations to Ruth, Sandra, Nathan and Christine on their wonderful accolades, which are thoroughly deserved. This will be a very proud moment for all of the individuals, but also their wider circle of family and friends, and I look forward to meeting all 4 recipients in due course."
Pupils and staff celebrate top year for school. A West Lothian school for pupils with additional support needs has been celebrating an award-winning year. Beatley School Campus in Livingston moved to a new bespoke state-of-the-art campus in August 2023. This fantastic new building has enabled staff to improve the care and education they provide for the West Lothian young people aged from 3 to 18 with severe and complex needs who attend. The impact of this superb new building was recognised at the recent Learning Places Scotland Awards, who awarded the school the much-coveted LPS Project of the Year Inclusive Design Award, as well as winning the Pupil Student Experience Trophy. West Lothian Council's Deputy Chief Executive, Elaine Cook, also collected a recognition award from LPS due to her impressive work with Beatley and other school projects such as Winchborough Campus and West Calder High School. The Beatley School Campus project was also awarded a commendation in the education category at the Glasgow Institute of Architecture Awards, GIA, and was named as Small Public Development of the Year accolade at the Scottish Property Awards earlier this year. Leader of West Lothian Council, Lawrence Fitzpatrick, and Executive Councillor for Education, Andrew Maguire, visited the school recently to congratulate them on their awards. Councillor Maguire said, "It's always fantastic to visit Beatley School campus and see the positive benefits of their superb new building. It's great that Learning Places Scotland and other award bodies have recognised what a special project Beatley is and the huge difference it makes to the lives of vulnerable young people. We have invested heavily in our dedicated facilities for children with additional support needs, with a new Cedarbank school recently completed, along with improvements to Pinewood and Ogilvie. The school serves a centre of excellence for children and young people with purpose-built facilities, including a sensory garden, hydrotherapy pool and NHS Child Development Centre." Beatley head teacher Debbie Green added, "We are very proud of our new Beatley School campus, which is a fabulous environment for our children. It has enabled us to improve the standard of care and learning we can provide for our young people. The new Beatley School campus was developed with council investment and funding from Learning Estate Investment Programme, LEIP, a joint initiative between Scottish and local government. It was delivered for West Lothian Council by Hub South East, with Morrison Construction the main contractor and Architectures NORR. And there's a lovely picture of pupils and staff outside their new school.
The next article, entitled English Language Assistant Ali had a blast teaching overseas, and the person who has provided this article is Kia Marjorie Banks. A student is encouraging other people to follow in her footsteps by taking up the chance to teach English overseas. The British Council is on the lookout for people from across Scotland to teach English in one of 10 destinations around the world. Through their English Language Assistant ELA programme, they provide placements in countries including France, Canada and Colombia, giving participants unique opportunity to teach internationally, develop professional skills and fully immerse themselves in a new culture for 6 months to a year. 24-year-old Ali Ross Oliver from Dunblane took part in the programme in 2023. She applied in her final year studying politics at the University of Edinburgh and got placed in Quebec, Canada. Language requirements vary between countries, but applicants can be from any walk of life and do not need a formal language qualification to apply. The language skills can be acquired through travel, private study or university language courses. Speaking about her experience, Ali said, "I decided to apply to be an ELA as I was really keen to find an opportunity where I could improve my language skills and travel while earning money. This programme seemed like a great opportunity to combine these things. I worked in Levis, a city in eastern Quebec, and lived across the river from Quebec City. My school was a secondary school called Javanat Notre Dame St. Lawrence, and there I taught students aged between 12 and 16 years of age. Depending on the class teacher and their preferences, I either prepared a class activity for 30 minutes or took small groups to a side room and ran activities. My activities were designed by me, and generally I focused on aspects of culture or adapted games into creative class formats. I was pleasantly surprised by how engaged the students were in learning about Scotland. We had a Highland Games Day where students participated in a caber toss, tug of war and other typical Highland Games activities. Ali, who currently studies at Sciences Po, Paris Institute of Political Studies, believes the programme has significantly enhanced her skills. She said, "Personally, I really benefited from the experience of living abroad and practising my French. I am now studying for a master in France, which I previously wouldn't have had the confidence for. I also got to try out teaching, which was a career path I had considered, and through this experience I gained great public speaking skills. Quebec is a fascinating place, and there are so many amazing places with nature and cities to discover. It's great if you're looking for a sense of adventure and something a little different. Your colleagues will be so interested in the perspectives you have to offer, and it's a great way to get professional experience while working abroad. You'll also have great opportunities to travel and explore. I went to Ontario, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, as well as New York, Boston, Philadelphia and Niagara Falls. If you're considering the programme, I would say 100% take the chance and apply. Every year the British Council sends approximately 100 assistants from the UK abroad to support the teaching of English in schools, universities and language centres, and with the programme approaching its 120th anniversary in 2025, it continues to open doors for participants while promoting educational exchange worldwide. The programme, supported by the Department of Education, DfE, Scottish Government, operates on a reciprocal basis. Modern language assistants from around the globe teach French, German, Italian and Mandarin across Scotland and the wider UK. In 2024, over 700 modern language assistants were teaching at schools, colleges and universities across England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. Peter Brown, Director of the British Council Scotland, was an English language assistant in 1982-83. He said, "Applying to be part of the language assistant programme is more than just an opportunity to teach. It's a chance to immerse yourself in another culture and grow in ways that you would never imagine." Having worked in Hamburg in Germany in the 80s, I can honestly say that experience changed my life. It broadened my horizons, deepened my understanding of the world, and gave me skills that have shaped my career ever since. I'm passionate about this programme because I know firsthand the incredible impact it can have, not just on students you teach, but on your own personal and professional journey. If you have a passion for languages, exploring new culture, and inspiring others, I encourage you to apply and help make 2025 a year of adventure and new opportunities. Applicants for the English Language Assistant programmes are now open. The deadline to apply is Thursday, January the 30th, and for more information, visit https://www.britishcouncil.org/study-work-abroad/outside-UK/language-assistance.
River Kids receive cash boost. Barrett Homes and David Wilson Homes are celebrating a year of giving after their charitable efforts topped more than £378,000 in donations across Scotland. And a slice of that cash went to a local good cause after River Kids received a helping hand. The Broxburn-based charity received a donation of £1,500 to help support disadvantaged children living in and around the West Lothian community. Andrew Morrison, Managing Director at Barrett Homes and David Wilson Homes East Scotland, said, "We're proud to support causes that are carrying out essential work in communities throughout Edinburgh, the Lothians and Fife. We're also always looking to use our scale for good where and when we can, and our teams have been on hand throughout the year to support this through a mix of volunteering and fundraising, in addition to community fund donations. There is so much vital work being done throughout the country, and we hope that we can continue to help make a difference in local communities in 2025. Each year, the 5-Star House Builder supports a wide range of organisations promoting health, employability and care, among many other causes. This is done through various charity initiatives, including Barrett's Community Fund, which donates £1,500 to a deserving local cause in each of its Scottish divisions every month. Over the last 12 months, Barrett Homes and David Wilson Homes East Scotland has provided financial support to a diverse mix of charities throughout the Lothians and Fife, coming at a vital time when many families, individuals and organisations have been affected by rising costs. In total, £82,500 has been donated to good causes in the region.
Great time had by everyone, an unattributed article. It was a busy festive season for members of the West Lothian 50 Plus network. They've had a great time at Christmas parties and lunches, trips to the theatre in Edinburgh. They held their annual Christmas choir concert and even had a go at the newest craze, balloon drumming. Talented members of the network's Art Group 1 also held a fantastic exhibition of their work in Bathgate. To find out more about what the network has to offer, visit westlothian50plusnetwork.co.uk or search for them on Facebook. And this article is accompanied by a number of fabulous photographs showing the members thoroughly enjoying themselves at their days out and enjoying a few glasses of wine at their Christmas lunch by the looks of it, and also the activities that they've been undertaking. I actually recognise my yoga instructor, so I think they've been having a go at some yoga. And I'm pleased to see there's a photograph of the balloon drumming, which I was wondering what that was. So if you can imagine, there's the setup is a chair, and on the chair there's a washing basket, and sitting in the washing basket is a large heavy-duty balloon, which I would describe almost as a space hopper. And then the participants are drumming away with their drumsticks, so that looks like great fun. So good on them.
Assaulted in the street. A man is in serious condition in hospital after being assaulted on a street in West Lothian as police hunt for the suspects. The incident happened at around 7:25 p.m. on Saturday the 4th of January outside a property in Lower Bathville in Armadale. A 38-year-old man was taken to the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh, where he remains in a serious condition. Detectives are now appealing for information. Inquiries so far suggest 2 men, dressed all in black and wearing balaclavas, were seen in the area at the time. They were later seen getting into a white car which travelled west along Lower Bathville. Detective Sergeant Keith Sinclair said, "Our inquiries to establish the full circumstances of this incident are ongoing, and we are asking anyone with information that may assist to come forward. Similarly, if you have CCTV, Ring doorbell or dashcam footage, please review it and share anything that might assist us. Anyone with information is asked to contact Police Scotland on 101, quoting incident 2706 of the 4th of January 2025.
The next article is headed Armadale Academy, and it's spread over 2 pages of the Courier, but it's 18 pictures, and it's about enjoying dancing, and it has about 10 teachers from Armadale Academy demonstrating various dances, and there's one picture of some pupils who've obviously learned something, and we see them dancing as well. Very short article headed Dance Delight to Enjoy for All. Armadale Academy teachers show off their dancing moves as the school hosted a special Strictly Dale dancing before the Christmas break. Students gave their teachers a 10 out of 10 for their amazing dancing skills. The teachers strutted their stuff on the dance floor when the school hosted the annual event. The couples had been training for several months in a bid to be their best and wow the judges. And I can assure you from what I see in the pictures, everybody had a great time.
Firework thieves trash shop in break-in. A West Lothian shop has urged customers to support their business after individuals allegedly broke in to steal fireworks, resulting in thousands of pounds worth of repairs. Zen Vape and Smoke Supplies took to social media to report their shop at the Houston Industrial Estate in Livingston had allegedly been raided on New Year's Eve. An image from the incident showed a smashed window and a destroyed door handle. The business had recently closed their other shop location in Bathgate as they prepared to move into their new premises in Livingston on January the 8th. However, the break-in added thousands of pounds to their move and forced the business to reopen their Bathgate store to make up the cost of the damages. They appealed to customers to support them at their Bathgate location to help pay for repairs. A post on the business's Instagram read, "Unfortunately, we've had a break-in at our new property. The people who broke in damaged our door and as a result have delayed the opening of our new shop. We are locked out the property as we've had to seal it shut and no work can progress inside. They broke in to steal a large amount of fireworks, so we're asking if anyone has information on boys who are trying to sell fireworks or have come into a large amount through suspicious means. It was predominantly rockets, Roman candles and blue smoke bombs that were taken from us. More information regarding our plans for the store to come. A social media post read, "We are reopening our Bathgate store on Monday, January the 6th. Because of the damage caused to the entrance at the new shop, we will need to keep the Bathgate shop open for another week or two. We would really appreciate it if you guys could still shop with us, as the repairs have added thousands of pounds on to the move to our new shop."
Huge wait for child and adolescent mental health service specialists. An article by Ross Thompson. Children in parts of West Lothian are waiting more than 1,000 days to be seen by mental health specialists, figures have revealed. Statistics released under Freedom of Information requests by the Scottish Liberal Democrats suggested a postcode lottery for young people approaching child and adolescent mental health services, or CAMS. The figures show that children across health boards are waiting years to receive treatment from the service. NHS Lothian had the worst performance, with a child waiting 1,100 days to be seen by professionals, according to the data from this year. NHS Lothian, Highland, Lanarkshire and Orkney all had patients waiting more than a year to be seen by CAMS. The same health boards also saw patients waiting more than a year to start treatment over the past year. The longest a patient waited was 1,600 days at NHS Lothian, while another patient waited 1,086 days at NHS Lanarkshire. Meanwhile, 35 young people at NHS Highland and 16 at NHS Lothian waited more than 2 years for treatment. At least 52 patients at NHS Lothian, 33 patients at NHS Highland, 10 patients at NHS Lanarkshire and 25 patients at NHS Orkney are currently waiting more than a year to start CAMS treatment. Scottish Lib Dem leader Alex Cole-Hamilton urged the Scottish Government to deliver a world-class mental health service for young people. He said, "If children and young people are waiting years for help, their mental health will simply deteriorate." The SNP has spent 17 years ignoring the scale of the mental health crisis. They have repeatedly raided tens of millions from the mental health budget, adding to the agony of everyone waiting to be seen. Scottish Liberal Democrats are the party of mental health. We want to drive down waiting times by installing more counsellors in schools and rolling out more specialists in GP surgery and A&E departments near to you. Scotland deserves world-class mental health services. That's why my party will continue to put pressure on the government to ensure everyone struggling receives the support and care they need. Mental Wellbeing Minister Marie Todd said, "The Scottish Government does not recognise the figures quoted. The latest figures show the best national performance against the mental health treatment time target for children and young people since the standard was introduced in 2014, with 89.1% of patients starting treatment within 18 weeks of referral. The waiting list for treatment is now at its lowest point since 2013, with 1 in 2 children and young people referred now starting treatment within 6 weeks, compared to 12 weeks pre-pandemic. This has been made possible by the hard work of the dedicated workforce, which has increased by 59.1% in the last decade of this government. Despite the significant progress made across the system, we are not complacent. We continue to be clear that long waits are unacceptable. That is why, even with the continuing fiscal challenges we face, we have made the decision to increase the draft mental health budget for next financial year so that we can build on our improvements."
Pits, fingers crossed for Derby clash. Broxburn Athletic boss Stevie Pittman hopes for a Derby cracker against Linlithgow Rose this weekend, but doesn't think the game will go ahead. A thick blanket of snow has covered the Alban Park by Tuesday, with winter weather forecasts to intensify this week. But while not optimistic, Pittman is hopeful of taking 3 points of the game if the game is given the go-ahead. Pittman said, "I think that game will take care of itself, but I don't think it will be on. Our park is covered and it's not meant to get above freezing, so I think we'd struggle for that. It's not the best preparation, but there you go. If the game is on, it would be good to get 3 points. Linlithgow is a very good side. We went there at the start of the season and got absolutely hammered, so we have to learn our lesson from that. It's a game we look forward to, a local derby with a good crowd and all that, but we know it will be a really difficult game. They're a really good side." Broxburn were due to travel to Tranent on Saturday, and Pittman would have preferred the game to be on. He said, "We beat Tranent 2-1, which was a tough game against a really good side. I think in the first half they could have been a couple of goals up, but I thought we were excellent in the second half and we were happy with the 3 points from that."
An article by Ross Thompson. Health heroes rewarded after lifetime in the NHS. NHS Lothian has celebrated New Year honours recognition for 2 key figures. Callum Campbell, the Health Board's former Chief Executive, has been awarded an OBE for services to healthcare in Scotland. Mr Campbell retired in the summer after 40 years of service in the NHS, which culminated in 4 years at the helm of Scotland's second largest health board. Mr Campbell joined NHS Lothian in June 2020 from NHS Lanarkshire, where he had been Chief Executive for 5 years. Previous appointments included Chief Executive at NHS Borders for 5 years and various director posts within Scotland and Wales. Callum was educated at the University of Paisley, where he gained a BA Honours degree in Health Studies, and at Glasgow Caledonian University, where he received an MBA. He started working with the NHS in 1984, initially as a nurse and then health visitor before moving into general management. Commenting on his award, Mr Campbell said, "Whilst I am surprised and delighted to receive the nomination, I am acutely conscious that it takes a great team to get things done. I have been privileged to work with some of the very best, and so extend my gratitude to my former colleagues too." Joining Mr Campbell on the honours list is NHS Lothian Equality and Diversity Advisor Rakaya Sulman, who received an MBE for services to eliminate discrimination and advance equality and good relations. Rakaya began working for the NHS Lothian as a staff nurse and registered midwife 22 years ago before moving into managerial and educational roles. Originally from Nigeria, Rakaya has a master's degree in public health sciences from the University of Edinburgh and a postgraduate diploma in education from Queen Margaret University. Rakaya said, "I'm overwhelmed and very grateful to be receiving an MBE. I always believe that we are better when we celebrate our differences and be kind. So this honours everyone who works towards these goals." NHS Lothian Chief Executive Professor Caroline Hiscock said, "These awards are tremendous news and richly deserved. I am delighted that Callum's exceptional leadership and commitment during a lifetime of service to the NHS has been recognised in this way. It is also hugely gratifying that Rakaya and her important work to support equality and help eliminate discrimination in all its forms is honoured. Both Callum and Rakaya are held in the highest regard by NHS Lothian and beyond, and I know that colleagues past and present will join me in congratulating them." And there's a picture of Callum and of Rakaya beside the article with a lovely smile on their face.
And that brings us to the end of our recording of the latest edition of the West Lothian Courier. As always, please do remember to return your memory sticks by popping them into the envelope and to change the address label on the return envelope. So until it's Team 1's time to read again in 6 weeks, it's goodbye from our engineer Paul and the readers, myself, Wendy.
Good evening from Linda.
Good night from Ray.
And good night from George.